I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs make money online, and most people think that you need some fancy funnel or an expensive website or lots and lots of people in your audience to make money online. But I'm going to show you in this video how to make $1,000 this week using just your phone and what you already know. And if you're ready for that, let me know in the comments below. I'm ready. This is what I want to hear. Okay, so we're going to fast track your way. And what I'm using is something called Authority X Pro, which is my proprietary app that I have trained for 8 months. And it is now available at authorityxpro.com. And you can do this on ChatGPT, on Claude, on any kind of LLM, large language model, AI. You're going to use a specific prompt. Now, if you use Authority X Pro, it's going to give you a more detailed and specific answer for you because you get to tell it more about yourself and it gets to learn you over time with the persistent memory that I've given it. And it's trained on like thousands and thousands of hours of my own training. But this is what you're going to do. So first of all, we're going to find you an offer and you're going to use a specific prompt. So I'm going to say, because this is trained on me, like this is my user profile, it thinks it's me, Arlan. It thinks it's me. So I'm going to say, if someone said to you, and then I'm going to see if that works. Yeah, so I have this prompt. What would your answer be? Okay, so that's why I'm doing this prompt. But your prompt is, I am an expert in, and then you put your expertise in. And you may not feel like you're an expert, but just say anything that you know how to do. We can use my lab framework that I have in my new book called Arlan's Authority Playbook. You can get this, the audio version, the ebook, and the hard copy all in a bundle at the link below. But I'm just going to tell you what it is so you don't have to even do that. So the lab framework is, what have I learned? What have I then applied in my life or someone else's? And then what have I benefited from or someone else has benefited from? And it's the same thing. Like, what did I learn over the past few years? What do I know how to do? And then have I ever done it? Like, did I apply it or have someone else apply it? And then did it work? Did it benefit somebody? So just to get started, just to get your ideas flowing, because you want to do this fast, you're going to put something here. And I bet you have some idea already. And you're going to say, I am an expert in, and then you're going to put whatever it may be. And I put consulting women over 40 and mindset to get unstuck and make the money, family, and hobbies they want out of life. That's not really a grammatically correct sentence, but I did that because I wanted to show you that even if you misspell something or even if you don't say it perfectly, it will help you. So this will help you with Authority X Pro, but Claude, ChatGPT, any of those that you can get for free will help you too. So then it goes on to say in this prompt, I need a single high value fast track service offer I can sell for $997 this week. And we're going to use $997 because that is the launch price of Authority X Pro for a reason. It is psychologically different than asking for $1,000. Have you ever been to the grocery store? I bet you have. And something costs $9.99 rather than $10. If you've ever asked yourself why it costs a little bit less than that rounded up number, it's psychologically better at selling for you. So you're going to use $9.99 or $9.97, something like that for $1,000. I've even seen $9.95 work. So then you say, name the offer, write a 2-sentence description explaining the result, and list 3 concrete deliverables. The core promise must be a fast, tangible result for the client. So this is I would say a semi-long prompt. You can have it. I'll try to paste it into the description. And if I don't paste it, just go ahead and remind me in the comments. And you're going to take this and put it into something that is an AI. So this is what I put here. And this is why I got these results. Okay, here is your high value fast track service offer designed to be sold for $997 this week for someone who is consulting women over 40 in mindset to get unstuck and make the money, family, and hobbies they want out of life. It's called the Second Act Blueprint. Two-sentence description is, this is a one-on-one intensive designed for women over 40 at a crossroads, ready to design the next chapter of their life with intention and clarity. You will walk away with a personalized, actionable 90-day plan to reclaim your time, reignite your passions, and define what success looks like to you, not for everyone else. And then it gives 3 concrete deliverables. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to be very transparent. I don't know the quality of the response you're going to get on ChatGPT and Claude. I just know that you will get a response. So you may want to give it even more details, because Authority X Pro that I built is built to know you really, really well. Okay. So then it goes on to say what it's going to be. It's going to be a 90-minute. So there's 3 things that you're going to do. So concrete deliverables means these are the things you're going to include in the package. The first thing is a 90-minute clarity to action call. It's a deep dive session you have with the client. The second, and this is all part of this 997 or 999 package that they've already purchased from you. The second part of the package is going to be a personalized second act blueprint, which is a PDF. And what you're going to, how you do that is you take the call you had and you put the transcript into AI and you build your own frameworks around it. Now, Authority X Pro can help you build that framework to say, okay, I had this call, this is the transcript, give me the blueprint. It'll do that for you. And then 1 week of private email support, Voxer, anything that lets you have a one-on-one with them that's kind of separate from everyone else. It'll feel very, very cool. So I'm just showing you one example of a type of offer that can be created from this prompt. And then it talks about why the offer works, because we asked it to say, why does it work? So now take the same prompt and do it for your niche. Do it for your audience. Do it for what you've been thinking about, but not quite sure what to do. If you have been stuck, this prompt is going to help you. So now you're going to have, maybe you'll put it in once and you'll get a great answer, or you'll have to put it in a couple more times and say, oh, I didn't really quite like that. So I'll give you another example. Let's just make something up right now and change it. So let's say it's for, I'm an expert in accounting for small businesses and creatives. I'll say in creators, and I'll just do it again and see what it takes. Now, Authority X Pro takes a while. As it says here, creating an extremely customized solution for you takes a little longer. Please allow up to 60 seconds. So that's just this particular one that I built takes longer because it's going through all kinds of things to bring the answer. But when you do this on a Chat GPT or a Claude, it probably will come up 5 to 10 seconds later. So we are going to give it time, and look at that. It has populated already. So it says, excellent. This is a classic case of an expert whose skills are desperately needed, but often seen as confusing or intimidating costs without, rather than a powerful investment. The key is to package it as an immediate painkiller. Here's exactly how I would answer that prompt, turning accounting into an irresistible high-value solution. Remember, it's talking to me that way because I am me within this context, and it's helping me show you examples. Okay, so anyway, it says the creator's financial clarity system. That's what it's called. This is a one-time diagnostic and system setup for creators and small business owners who are drowning in financial chaos and have no idea if they're actually profitable. You will go from feeling overwhelmed to having a crystal clear picture of your business's financial health, plus a simple, repeatable system. Okay. And then it says these are the 3 concrete deliverables. What will be included? A profit and loss health audit, a custom 5-minute bookkeeping system setup, and a 75-minute know your numbers strategy call. So it's telling you exactly what to do and why it works. So you could push back on Authority X Pro and say, okay, I like this, but does the call have to be that long? Or do I need to have a call with each of these? Or what's a version that doesn't have a call? I would say to you, if you're just starting out, if this is your first $1,000 client, do the calls. The calls are so leveraged because you have time. You have more time than money. So you want to use this time when you are just getting started on making money from online sales rather than maybe working a 9 to 5 or working in corporate. You want to use this time to learn as much as you can and to get into the weeds. And this is from someone I made $200,000 last month. And that was up from 120,000 the month prior. It was probably an outlier, we'll see for this month, but this is what I do. This is what I know. So you want to get into the weeds during this period, even though it'll take longer and even though it'll take up more of your time. You want it to be something that you can then take that data, information, insight, and you can make it more streamlined as you go along. So for another way of saying this is maybe the first 10 customers, your first $10,000 worth of customers, you're doing these 75, 90-minute calls, you're doing all the pieces that it said. And then maybe after that, you've gained enough information where you're like, you know what? The calls are really great. They're very, very important. I'm going to continue to do those. Or you may say, you know what? The calls are great, but what I'm going to do instead is have them fill out a form. And I'll take that form and turn it into their PDF rather than me having to be on the call. I've done this with several of my high ticket offers. I'll start it off much more hands-on than it ends up being. Or I might plug someone in once it's making enough money to take over the day-to-day, keeping myself there as an oversight and having established the frameworks for it. So you want to do this if you want to fast track. The next thing you want to do is now that you have your offer, is you want to say, I'm going to just step out on a little bit of faith, a little bit of fear, like it may not work. People may not buy this, but I'm going to at least put it out there into the world because what you do know is that if you don't offer anything, nobody will buy, right? How can they buy it if you don't offer it? So even if you're a little scared or if it feels a little bit intimidating, you want to step out and just give it a chance. And you can always pull back and you can always say, oh, it didn't work. And then don't sell it anymore. The next thing you want to do is you have to understand that your $1,000 client is most likely already in your ecosystem. It's not likely to be a stranger, probably, in probability. So potentially it is. But I have found with the thousands of entrepreneurs that I've helped make money and the 200 founders that I have invested in or the companies that I've invested in, I have found that usually your first dollars, your real money is in your own ecosystem. And that is because they've had that time to get to know you, even if they don't know you in this context. And so you say, well, how do I sell? I don't want to be like this creepy salesy person that's like, oh, how do I get you into this car? Well, a really good way of doing this, and this is like straight up, this is a hack, pardon me, it's a hack, but it's not a bad thing to do. It's like it's two-sided because you're going to get two pieces of data back. So what I would do if I were you is I would find 5 people in your phone or on LinkedIn who you actually know and you know they will respond and see your message, or on social DMs, anybody you've talked to recently. And instead of saying, hey, do you want to buy this thing that I just started? You can reach out to them and be transparent and say, I've just launched this and I'm excited about it. Would you mind taking a look and seeing if there's anyone you know who would be interested? Okay, if that just helps you open up an idea, put the word gem, Gem, gem right here. This is the name of our new beverage. You can't see it, but gem, Gem. Put the word gem in the comments if this helped you. Because this one slight variation to what most people would tell you has helped so many of my members and my students make money the first week. Okay. So what you do is you send a message out, you're transparent. You say, this is new. I'm giving this a try. Do you know anyone who would be interested? And what happens is one of a few things. One is you don't hear anything back. They ghost you. They do not respond. That could be because they never saw it, because people are busy, or it could be because they saw it and they're like, I don't want to touch this. And that's okay because you're not going to get every single person to respond. The next thing could be that they look at it and they're like, oh, this is cool. I don't know anybody, but congratulations, So you get a little bit of like, cool, this was great. I have no problem with you showing this to me. Another thing that could happen is they look at it and they say, actually, I do know someone who could use this, because you have to understand you are just one person. And if you send other people out on your behalf, you'll cover more ground. So if you're just saying, hey, do you know anyone? You have to think they live a full life. They have talked to several people. They may have somebody that this is perfect for, and they're going to be the hero because they get to help that person find a solution that you happen to have, because they're now the plug. So the fourth thing that could happen is that they look at it and they say, I could use this. This is something I could use. So then you're really smoking, because they're coming back to you asking for more information. And then you can have a conversation. And sales are on the other side of a conversation. So if I were you, I wouldn't just look for 5 people. I would look for 30 to 50 people, because I'm that person. I got one of my big jobs in the past by reaching out to 100 people cold. So, and I've done that multiple times for different things. So I would go to volume and quality. Do as much as feels comfortable to you. But you may not have 50 people you can reach out to, but you probably have 5. Even if you don't think it in this moment, give it a chance. Like, open up your contact list and give it a chance. Look at the people you have communicated with. Probably somebody wants to help you out, and try to find somebody for this. And yes, why are we talking this big of a number and not $100 or $50 or $20? There are other types of offers that cost less, and I teach these different ways inside of your first 5K. Especially, I teach you for free how to sell something for $100, and that turns into more. It turns into 5,000. But this $1,000 one is because I need you to know that it's possible. Because if you can sell, like, we had someone in my inner circle who just mentioned that she was looking to make $4,000 a month as a stay-at-home mom from something that she does online. She does not want to go into a 9 to 5. She doesn't even want to work for anybody else, even if it's at home. She just wants to have a 4,000 a month or more business that she runs. But she's a busy mom, right? So she's not going to want to sit for 8, 10, 12 hours a day working on something. And she also wants it to happen soon. So when you're building a low ticket offer, you have to have more people. So in other words, $4,000 would be 40 people paying $100. But $4,000 is just 4 people paying $1,000. So if you can look at, like, what would $4,000 a month working for myself do? Can I have four people, one person a week, less than one person a week? Can I have one person a week buy this? And that makes it worth it. You figuring out the offer, going back at it, even if you don't find the perfect one in that first try. And it helps you, like, say, yeah, I will reach out for my first few sales to people I know. Because then once you have people actually purchase it from you, actually go through the process, you now have testimonials, you now have practice, you now have more confidence, and you can start selling it outside of just who you know. But I know people who have made, there's a woman we just interviewed. She made $10,000 from her current audience, and she's in her 60s, and her late 60s. And she just had no idea she could do that, but it just kept growing. We've had people make 17,000. We've had people make 5,000. There's no guarantees you're going to make any money, because I can't make that guarantee here on YouTube. But I can tell you that it's worth trying if that's the life that you're living. You get to live this life where I just have to sell 4 to 10 people a month for this offer. Let me know in the comments if this has been helpful to you. One more thing I want to tell you is that you don't need to have this long, crazy funnel. You don't have to have these crazy, beautiful websites here, there, and everywhere. All you need to get started, and you can build upon this over time, is some method of payments that somebody can pay you. It's like some place where people can put their card and pay you, or cash, right? So here's some options. You can do PayPal, like a PayPal link, and just send it to somebody. I do that all the time. I do that for high ticket offers, for $5, $6, $10, $15,000 offers. I just send them a PayPal link. There's not even a website for it. You could do a Stripe link. You could do Stan Store, which is my favorite. I just interviewed the CEO of Stan in just last week for my Your First Million Live conference that we streamed first. And you can get that replay. You can learn how to get that replay inside of Your First 5K, which I have linked below. But I just interviewed him in person, and I forgot the number they said, but it's a huge company. It's a huge company, and they're helping people so much. I think they said they've helped people make $500 million. I think that's what they said. And I've made part of that because I've made more than $500,000 on their platform. So you could just have a stand store. It costs either $29 a month or $99 a month, depending on what features you want. And you go in, you have these very simple payment links and a little storefront, and it's super, super simple to use. I use it for almost everything, and it's awesome. So you could have that. You could have Cash App. You could say, look, I'm taking Cash App or I'm taking Venmo. Now, of course, you want to look into how do I keep track of these? I would recommend that you do it on PayPal or Stripe or Stan, because if you do it that way, they're keeping track for tax purposes and all kinds of things that you don't want to worry about later on. But what the point of that is that I don't want you to use an excuse of I don't know how to take a payment. Because if somebody wants to pay you, you want to be able to get paid, right? Like I've been taking payment. I took payments when I was homeless. I was like, I'm going to have a PayPal set up. I'm going to have something set up, even when I was homeless years ago. So that's what you want to make sure you have in place. And then you want to just go out there, step out on faith and try it. See if you can find a customer. Now, the very last hack and tip I will give you, make sure you go to authorityxpro.com if you want all of this information 24/7, anytime you want to ask it questions, exact scripts, exact steps, everything you need inexhaustibly forever, 997 per year. Okay, the last thing I'll say to you is that if you still feel like I can't sell this for $1,000, I just don't believe it will work, then find someone you really like who is your ideal type of customer and give it to them for free. Tell them this is a retail cost of 997, but because it's new, I would like to do a case study. All I ask for in return is that you treat this like you spent $1,000, and then you give me any feedback that would be helpful to me and a testimonial at the end. And when you do that, it's worth 1,000. It's like as if they handed you 1,000, because now you have feedback that will help you optimize it before you go out to market, and you have a testimonial that will help you sell it. I just did this with Authority X Pro. I had been working on it for 8 months, training it, using it myself for the past few weeks, and it had already made me money. So I already knew that it was working, but I needed to stress test it. So I gave it to 20 of my inner circle members over a weekend before Your First Million Live. And I said, go out there and stress test this. They came back with like the most amazing positive feedback ever, testimonials that are already on the page. And I've used the testimonials from that section. That time I was able to turn those around within minutes. But then they also gave me invaluable bug fixes and feature upgrade requests. So I didn't upgrade everything they asked for because I wanted to be very simple and to the point and have one really good job. But I did a little, like I'll give you an example. We were talking about it on live on Your First Million Live. Someone asked for an audio button to speak to text. And I said, no, that's just going to make it more complicated. It's going to add a technical weight to it that I don't want to worry about because it's going to break something. And then someone said, but what about people who are disabled? It would help them. And I said, okay, it's done. You don't have to say anything else. It's done. So overnight, from Wednesday to Thursday on my 4-day live event, I added the audio. And yes, it did break something, but then I fixed it within 24 hours. So that's having that feedback from somebody is really helpful. And then you can have stress test, like over that weekend, even before the event, people said, okay, when I logged in, it just puts me on a loop and it won't let me log back in. And someone else said, hey, I'm trying to type and it won't let me type. So I was able to troubleshoot so that when it went out to live for people paying for it, not only did it have all the great feedback, like, oh my God, this is amazing at what it does, but then it didn't have all those little bugs, those little technical errors that would have frustrated a lot of people when they first got it. So you can have someone who is helping you for free because it's an exchange. They're getting, you're not only are they going to treat it like they paid you 1,000, but you need to treat it like they paid you 1,000. You give them everything you got as if they just paid you for the 1,000, because it's going to help you get better in multiple ways. And then it'll be that first time that you went out there and you did it. And then you can say, my client said X, my customer said this, and then you keep going, right? You keep stacking those testimonials and using them over and over again. There's much more you can learn about this. I teach you for free on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed. And there's much more you can gain from my knowledge, my thousands of conversations I've had with one-on-ones and with groups, with founders and entrepreneurs and creatives and people who have never ever sold one thing online, and it's all included in Authority X Pro. So go out there and do it, whether you do it for free or whether you do it with my paid product. Go do it. Make something happen.